Good afternoon, everyone. All right, I'll be speaking about protecting yourself from energies that aren't yours. It kind of picks up on a little bit of the last video I did, and that was on the spiritual war, light versus dark. But this is a little bit different because I'm going to be pinpointing those energies that aren't yours, that you kind of invite in by just day-to-day living. So I'd like to say first that thoughts are more than just thoughts, because they carry energy. And when you realize that they're carrying an energy, it's like a boomerang effect, to where you say a word or you say a phrase, let's say, and if, depending on the scale of the consciousness and the meaning, the energy behind that, you're getting that back. So you have to realize that. For example, like if somebody had ever threatened you, like with words, or like a long sentence, like, you better be careful of that person, or something like that kind of energy. I wouldn't have to worry so much about it if they said that to me, because in the reality and how it works is that they have to be careful, because life is a boomerang. And they're really putting that out, but it's really coming back to them. So they carry energy, thoughts, they shape us. And if we aren't aware, we can end up living with energies that were never truly ours to begin with. So that's what I'm talking about, is that, you say something to somebody and they end up living with it. That's why you always are positive. If the guy or the girl is a idiot, or I don't want to say idiot, but just not considerate and just ridiculous, just walk away. Before I used to just say a little something, but it's not even worth it, because I'm not going to let them ruin my day. They're the ones with the problem. So just walk away. And then you want to get to the awareness and the resonance. And that's really the first step, always, to awareness. So ask yourself, does this resonate with me? Because the moment you notice it, you already kind of have a protection, and you have the power to release it. It's when you don't notice it, and like somebody that keeps on picking at you. I'll give you an example. They keep picking and picking, and then you kind of let it go, and you go, oh, well, and then 14 years go by and they're still picking at you. And then you never really have any power. You're just taking it in and absorbing that into your being. And that can make you sick. It can make you tired. It can make you helpless. So the moment that you notice it, you can say, you know what, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. And then, or you say something back to the individual, like maybe it's like a friend or a spouse or something. And then immediately when you say something back, there's kind of a protection there. This is how it works. And you have the power then to release it. And that's the most important thing. So then you say, you know what, if you don't, I'm not going to listen to this anymore. And You can say it to yourself, or you can say it to the person, and then you, at that point, you release it. But if you don't even know something is there, how can you ever free it? Something to really think about at that point. Like I say, you just keep taking it and taking it. Well, you keep taking it because you haven't addressed it, and it's not able to free itself. You can't free yourself from it. So if you don't know that something's going on, is there, and maybe it's not right, then you can't free yourself from it. So external energies, they kind of operate like that. They're very manipulative in the way that it's presented, and it can catch you in the net. And I call them foreign energies. These are external energies that I'm talking about now. That these foreign energies don't just exist in the spiritual sense. They're everywhere. When you watch television, when you scroll online, when you absorb stories from the news or social media, you just take in these foreign energies and you don't even realize that you're doing it. You may even form beliefs around those. And if you don't pause and ask, does this feel true to me? What I'm listening to right now, like even listening to this video, then you're simply taking in what someone else decided for you. And then you start to live your life by someone else's story. That's when your worldview stops being your own, and you just become a copy. It's kind of like you go out with people, you're like particular people, friends or what have you, and they always drum up the same story over and over that you kind of pass through it on the news, but they never have anything interesting and fresh to talk about. Something that maybe is never on the news. Like I like to always talk about bettering myself and what can I do better for the world or better. And I'm not acting like I'm holier than thou, like a Mother Teresa or anything like that. I'm saying that, that one time when I came back from India, I think it was one of my brothers said, stop acting like Mother Teresa. I thought it was so funny. But anyways, so I'm not, but I like information like that. Like I like to get into a group of people and then maybe there's like a scientist there and a physicist and then the most interesting conversations come up with, the possibilities of like life form and, where are we going and things like that, instead of repeating what a newscaster said on CNN. You're just copying what they're saying. So something to think about. And then we get into creative power and inner guidance. And we are creators. And we choose what we listen to, what we allow in. And if we don't choose, then that choice is made for us from the outside world. And we regurgitate it over and over like a loop. So you have to choose your own. Or it will be chosen for you. Everything will be chosen for you. Your path in life, everything. So you have to be wise on this. It's very important to tell your children this. It's so important to teach your children this. I mean, I cannot stress it enough. And when I say you teach them, you know, you don't have to like throw it down their throat, because that too is, you know, not good. Because if you teach them as though, you know, because kids have an inner guidance, and sometimes I think some kids I talk to, they're very smart. They have a very strong guidance system that's working for them already. Like some of my friends that have children that I love, and they have their, you know, they even tell their mom, you know, Mom, stop saying that. I don't want to say anything, but I'm like, your kid's smart. You know, like I don't want to get in the middle or anything, but whew, that kid is smart. And so you want to teach your children. And this is why connecting with your soul, and you teach your children this, and their heart and their intuition is so important. So that they are choosing for themselves instead of letting the outside choose for them. Because the truth of what's right for you doesn't come from your head. It comes from within, right here, your heart. And when you operate from the divinity of your heart, I could probably say 99.9%, you're going to make the right choice. But if you're choosing up here with your thoughts, and thoughts can be nutty at times, right? Then you have to be careful about that. And when you live from the inner guidance, suddenly all the noise, the outside noise, has less power with all your choices. So anchoring within, here's the key. If your anchor is outside of you, in people and circumstances, in opinions, then you can be swayed easily. I see that all the time. But if your anchor is in the inside of you, silence, stillness, your inner compass, it's your own inner compass, then you can ask, is this person good for me? Is this environment good for me? Is this thought even mine? And that's protection. Right there. Knowing that this is so important. Differentiating thoughts. So how do we know? Sometimes thoughts come with a feel. Every thought has an energy. If the energy feels heavy, intrusive, or like foreign, it might not be yours. It's probably a copy. If it feels aligned and a lightness, there's a bright light to it, or rooted in your joy, that's you. Purifying yourself regularly helps. Release what isn't yours, and then you clear the field. And that's why you ask these questions. With everything, your children, you tell them, you know, you want to ask these questions. Is this person good for you hanging out, in high school or whatever, Are they right for you? Are they influencing you to do things that aren't right? You have to let them know you have the guidance within. And bringing your light. Remember, every human has their own way of bringing light to earth. Some through nature, some through art, some through speaking truth. Each one of us is a piece of the greater picture. That's why we can't be in division. We have to come together because we're stronger together. Families that pray together stay together. Remember that. Pray over your food. Pray at the dinner table. It's important. And when you honor your unique light, you're exactly where you need to be. So there's no point in comparing. And the moment that we stop comparing, we finally realize we're good enough as we are. We don't need to compare ourselves. A lot of women do the comparing, like, I don't know. That's what I see. So this is the closing. So pause, and I want you to ask yourself often this. Is this right for me? Does this align with my heart? Release what isn't yours and anchor within. Anchor within because you know what's best for you. And bring your light in a way only you can. Because people, they'll see you as a bright, beautiful light when you come as yourself. Because this is another thing, because thoughts are more than thoughts. They're energy. And that energy is sacred. So I want to thank everybody so much for coming to my channel. If you like what I'm saying, subscribe and pass it on. And I will see you at the next video. Thank you so much.